There we are. Boggers. Oh, good. Share this. Wait, is that Discord? Is this Discord? Okay. Put my phone up here. And before we get started, I think I've seen the Oof Trap. I think I've seen some of his videos. His thumbnail looks familiar to me. This is shit going on in the server. uh Quickly go into server. This isn't an Undertale stream. I can't sing Megalovania. People will think I'm an Undertale fan. Monstrous. I could never. There we go. Message. Yeah, oh no, an Undertale fan. Whatever will I do? Disgusting. I'll be like Shadow the Hedgehog. Those disgusting Undertale fans. Where's that fourth goddamn Chaos Emerald? Edgy Shadow. Went ahead and pinned the Discord link. Hope you guys don't mind. So I am going to be playing Spider-Man while we talk. But before that, I'm going to be going into my and I do have the stream open, by the way. I'm going to be going and creating community tab shit over the various what ifs posts. There we go. What question did Nepg ask? I think Gary, I know you asked about uh what was it? The Neptunia one. Uh and then I said that we will continue it. What did DJ ask about? DJ, I think we were talking about Yukari and Pokemon. I think that's what came up. Yes. Yes. Okay. Bark. Bark. You guys hear that? I think that might be my mother who's been gone all week. Give me 1 second. Alright, I've returned. My apologies. They indeed, um, uh, fuck. No, it's not what they're doing. They just got back from their trip. So much for having a house to myself. Isn't that right, Waffles? Sleeping in my spot of the bed. You know what you did. Anyway, a dog. Yeah, I got a dog. It's a teddy bear. I was gonna ask about your decision regarding Bulma. So my decision regarding Bulma is really weird, right? Because you know, it if I do it, it feels kind of Mary Sue-ish, right? At least that's the best way I can describe it. It's like, oh, of course you put yourself with you shipped yourself with debatably the most important character in Dragon Ball. Oh, you know, oh, you're not gonna have to worry about a job and have everything you need in the future. Like, you guys get what I'm trying to say? So, from that aspect, I was like, you know, what would it be? Gary Stew. Yeah, there we go. That's the word I'm looking for. And then I was like, well, logically speaking, though, my character in this situation is the most likely. Because even though in this universe, my character should be about 35, I think, uh, wishes the Dragon Balls to turn himself back to 18. I don't think that would stop Bulma, though. Uh, because, especially in early Dragon Ball. Because, like, have you guys seen some of the shit she's done in the Pilaf saga? She tried seducing a third. She tried seducing a what was at the time a 10-year-old. Goku said he was 10 years old. So I don't think her standards are very high. She also got with Yamcha and Vegeta, which, in case you haven't noticed, well, those standards aren't very, those aren't very high standards. Uh, and then, I mean, yeah, she was literally going to use magical wish granting orbs to wish for a boyfriend. But then I was like, well, if I ask the comment section to decide, then it's not really what if I was in there. You know what I mean? It's like, what does the comment section think? Uh, so very hard to really pick an answer to. I did decide that I'm probably going to pair my character with Bulma because I do genuinely believe our characters are semi. Well, I say our characters. I think I would be semi compatible with Bulma. I can be quite lazy at times, but I do have a genuine interest in science. So at least on that front, we can get along. And then if Bulma wanted to do anything else, well, I mean, I'm not like Vegeta. I'm not people like, shut up, woman. I have things to do. Super Saiyan, blah blah, Kakarot. And then also, yeah, she got with Vegeta. Vegeta got her pregnant and fucked off. And then nearly killed them. And yet they still got married. I don't think Bulma's standards are that fucking high. Like, it honestly seems like the only thing Bulma cares about in terms of a partner is if you cheat on her. Vegeta still ends up being a better father than Goku. In Dragon Ball Super, he definitely is. In Dragon Ball Z, it's undoubtedly Goku. Or undoubtedly, nah! It's undoubtedly Goku in Dragon Ball Z. But in Dragon Ball Super, I also think Vegeta is definitely the better father. He's also very overprotective, as you see with Bola. Bro goes Super Saiyan Blue when Yamcha wants to touch her. Or something like that. I only watched Dragon Ball Super once because it's Dragon Ball Super ass. Um, yeah. Beyond that, I'm actually having trouble with that what if because what my thought process is, and by extension my characters, the more I do in Dragon Ball, the more fucked I am in the future when Dr. Gero comes around. Unless I somehow find his lab and blow him to smithereens. But then we don't have Android 18 and 17 as allies. There was another thing I thought about, which I kind of made a joke about in the server, with Gary. On, if I, just fucking blast Bulma. Because, not Bulma, Chi-Chi. Because I do not like Chi-Chi. Kid Chi-Chi's okay. She is not... She should not be dressed the way she is. For damn sure. But personality-wise, she's okay. Adult Chi-Chi, on the other hand, fuck her. Fuck that bitch. How, did I enjoy episode 18 of Daima? Well, I have not watched Daima, but I have seen what they've done with episode 18 of Daima, and I don't like it. That specific thing in Daima that happened in episode 18, I didn't like it. I don't. Not a fan. I don't know if Nepchi's seen Daima, episode 18 of Daima. Okay, so if we've all seen it, then fucking, I'm just gonna talk about it. What is with this Super Saiyan 4 design? Like, I think it's mostly just the art style for me. Um, but the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta design, I just fucking hate it. Mostly because we already had designs which look better. Vegeta's especially, I fucking atrocious. But that's the problem. It doesn't need to tie into God Key. The point of Super Saiyan 4 is to tap into the primal roots of the Saiyans, not that God Key shit. It is the power of an Ozaru, of a Saiyan, brought past their limits, the strongest a Saiyan can get at that time. Don't connect Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan Gods. Let them be their own fucking thing. Now, do I like it more than anything introduced to Dragon Ball Super? Yes. At least right now. Again, I haven't watched Daima. I'm waiting for it to finish, and then I'm gonna binge it. Or as much as I can, at least. Uh, but, going purely off of design, it is just a straight downgrade from GT Super Saiyan 4. Like, you know, at the very least, they could have, like, kept the black hair. Like, the orange on red just does not look good, and there's way too much red in that design. You guys know what I mean? I'm about done with the first pull here. Yeah, speaking of the arms, there's just like a chunk of the arms which are just missing fur, and it's like it bothers me so much. Like, why? It bothers my ADHD. Like, just no. And then Vegeta's design, like I get it. All Super Saiyan 3s introduced in Heroes look a lot like Goku, but there's nothing wrong with that. The Super Saiyan 3 design of Vegeta from Raging Blast 2 was good. It was fine. But no, it had to change it. It just looks worse. And my biggest problem is that Daima can't be canon. Like, it's fucking impossible. And if it is canon, well, it just makes Dragon Ball Super that much worse. But not only Dragon Ball Super, but Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods as well. As well as Dragon Ball Super Broly, debatably. And maybe well, I wouldn't say I think Superhero's fine, but it definitely adds more plot holes into Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Because it's like, if you have these forms, why are you not fucking using them? You know what I mean? But I'm also partially biased because Super Saiyan 4 is my favorite transformation. So, okay, the first poll is up. Funny thing, I just got done with GT earlier today, and it's 100 times better than Super is. GT definitely has its issues. I'm not going to deny that. Um, I do gotta agree with people that the Grand Tour part of GT definitely isn't stellar. Uh, it has its moments. It does have its good moments though. I think the whole M2 planet is great. I like Legic. That fight was really short, but I thought it was pretty cool. And there's just like a lot of things that I find better, that it did better than GT. For example, people don't like GT Goten. Counter argument. At least GT Goten had fucking screen time. Dragon Ball Super Goten literally does not do anything. No, no, no. Let me correct myself. Goten from Z. The last thing Goten does in Dragon Ball Z is fight Mr. Popo before they learn fusion. And that's filler. Before they learn fusion, the last thing Goten did was get gut punched by Vegeta. And died a Majin Buu while he was unconscious. Goten got absorbed, not Goten. I'm talking about purely Goten. Aside from getting gut punched, the last thing he does is fight Android 18 with Trunks. The light the last fight Goten had in Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super, just Goten, not Gotenks, and not adding the manga, was when they fought Cell Max. So the tournament saga from the Buu saga all the way to Superhero, Goten does not do shit. Whereas in GT, Goten is literally the first one to square up with Baby when he gets to the planet. And and I know we did like a power scaling thing with the community to see what they think. Goten would wipe the floor with anyone in Z. Like, I genuinely believe Goten would beat Vegito. At least Super Vegito. Now you could maybe win me the argument with Super Saiyan 3 Vegito. But Super Vegito, nah, Goten washes. And I know I am stepping on some very unstable ground when I say that, but yeah, Goten wipes the floor with Vegito. Super Vegito. And even like, okay, even then, I can see the argument for Super Vegito, actually. But Buhan, I know for fact, okay? Factually, Goten wipes the floor with Buhan. It's not even a contest. It's not a fucking contest. Funny thing, I just got done. Okay, I read that. Battle of the Gods movie is great. Resurrection F movie is fine. The Battle of the Gods arc is fine. Resurrection F arc is ass. Actually, I like the Battle of the Gods arc because of its filler. Like the slice of life shit. I thought that was really good. I like the personality shifts from Trunks and Goten. GT Goten, boyfriend, gets shit done. Goten Super, does jack shit. I mean, no, Goten doesn't win any fights in GT. This is true. But at least he fucking tried, right? At least he tried. And he gave his energy to Goku. That's literally more than Dragon Ball Super Gohan Goten did. Not Gohan. Goten. Like what took Dragon Ball Super Goten over like 200 episodes, if you go all the way back to Z, it took GT Goten like 30. And even if you ignore the section of Z where Goten doesn't do anything, it's still over 100 episodes and half a movie versus like 30 episodes. And there's a lot of theories / evidence that the movies are canon to GT. If you think that Bio Broly and Broly's Second Coming are canon to GT, then that means Goten did shit, even more shit than Dragon Ball Super Goten. Though that's if you believe it's canon. Um and then I think DJ asked about, I think he brought something up when I mentioned the Yukari Toho X Pokemon. And I just wanted to say, I didn't bring it up in the last stream. I have thought about doing like tiny videos, like ones that are easy, discussing what I think a certain Toho character's team would be. Because I have a Toho problem. I don't have an issue, you have an issue. Shut up. interesting idea. Certain people would have certain teams. Yeah, I mean, like, to give an idea, Karthu Dojo, he did a what if Dragon Ball characters had a Pokemon team. If you've seen that, uh, it'd be very similar. Um, where we just discussed what Pokemon I think I would have, or what would be thematic, why, etc., etc. Though I think Raimu, we have to give Pikachu by default because mascotism. I've thought about the same with Digimon because I like Digimon more than Pokemon. Not gonna lie, though Digimon makes it hard for me sometimes. But then again, so does Pokemon. Both series have gone downhill since I was a kid. I feel like Pokemon's gone more downhill though. I feel like Digimon at least tries. Pokemon just doesn't fucking give a shit. But hey, they finally got rid of Ash, from what I heard. So maybe the new anime is fucking good, or at least acceptable. And then DJ, I do see your comments, but I am typing right now. The polls. After I finish writing the polls, I'll start playing the game. And talk to you guys while I do that. It'll give you something to watch in the background. And I don't know how long I'm gonna stream, actually. I do have work tomorrow, so I don't want to stream for probably another. I'll probably stream for another hour, and then call it there. And then, of course, everyone in the Discord, we could just talk in the Discord. Accidentally deleted that. Fuck. Okay. So that should be the last poll. Which could have been done sooner, but I'm me. Also messing with YouTube now. Interesting idea. I think Yukari having Palkia and Dialga. I think to keep things interesting, I would limit to one legendary. And if I'm limiting it to one legendary, I would probably pick Hoopa, actually. Because Hoopa is literally it's literally a Pokemon known for making like portals through its rings. You know what I mean? So I mean that just seems like a much more fitting Pokemon for Yukari. Because yeah, she has the ability to manipulate any border, but she uses it mostly for opening portals. Either that or they introduce a train Pokemon and we have to give her that one. I know what Digimon to give her now. One of the trained Digimon. The perfect partner for Yukari. He's entering that one of her attacks in one of those fighting games is literally just fucking chucking a train at them. And then I will take a look at the polls here in a bit. See if I have background sound on. I do. Warning for everyone watching. I'm about to press the resume button. And, sound will be playing. So, just watch your volume.
Even the mole people living in the sewers know about the high-speed chase between police, Spider-Man, and the demons. Once again, Spider-Man makes a bad situation infinitely worse. And we have a highly intelligent caller who agrees with me. You're on with J. Jonah Jameson.
Yes, Mr. Jameson. I was trying to get to work, and I was almost run over. Look, I understand that Spider-Man saved the kidnapped victim, and I'm glad about that. But I could have been killed.
Not just you. This is the problem with that masked maniac. The police are able to coordinate efforts, block streets, lay down tire shredding strips, because they're a team. Spider-Man is a one-man show who cares about one thing. Spider-Man! And you almost paid for that. With your life.
Okay, well now that Triple J is done speaking, what other series can I talk about?
All units, mass terrorists in a box truck are evading pursuit.
I'm trying to think of discussions that not only you guys had to think of discussions, but it's a Q&A, so you can ask about whatever you want.
Going my way?
So I will be a little distracted, as you can see. Being SMDBZX. But if I sat here and only tried to answer questions, I would be... Gotta remember how to dodge. Let's see. Since we brought it up, Dragon Ball X Neptunia a couple times. JJJ is yapping like he's trying to get into prestigious school. Yep. I mean, hey, JJJ isn't even wrong half the time, sadly. Not completely, anyways.
There's a bomb in the truck. Gotta disable it.
Oh.
Demon backup. At least they're being Earth-friendly and carpooling.
But we brought up Dragon Ball X Neptunia, and God, I do not remember how to play the Ultimate Yapper. So if we were if we continue that, because I do plan to, but we know me. I'm not. If anything, I am known for not finishing series. Oh shit. Let these guys up. Me personally, I think I mentioned this before. I would like to do the manga because I don't know why people don't like the manga. I think it's just because it's not animated.
Hey, I got a business problem.
Honestly, I just got my ass kicked because I don't know how to open up my fucking gadget wheel. Okay, it's right bumper. Well, now I know. But I thought about doing GT, but the problem with doing GT is that it's rather short, And I feel like when you do a what if about GT, either it completely changes or nothing changes at all. Right? Because with the way GT works, it's basically,
Don't look like locksmiths.
you know, everything happens because of Pilaf's wish. Like, the Black Star Dragon Balls would happen eventually. But I feel like Goku would be so goddamn weak. And you know, I mean Goku because it's Dragon Ball. That, you know, he'd get murked by the Shadow Dragons. And he wouldn't have Super Saiyan 4 unless he unlocked it earlier. In my current what if, he's like Cell Saga level and no Super Saiyan 3 or Fusion by the time of the Buu Saga.
Look at it this way. If I'd actually let you break in, you'd be going away for a lot longer.
And then, if I remember correctly, I think Pishi was Super Vegeta level. Well, my pets have been out of water for I don't know how long. I had water this morning, so it couldn't have been too long. Anyway, what was I saying? I got distracted. Right, I was discussing my what if Neptunia. I believe I made Pishi around Super Vegeta level after she had her potential unleashed. CPU are another issue I've run into the whole time writing Dragon Ball X Neptunia Rebirth. Because Dragon Ball is the if you don't have a transformation, you're a bitch series. Like, let's be real. So, and to my knowledge, the CPU only have one more transformation. If I introduce it too early, you know, they're not going to be useful early on.
Oh boy. Rockets. They got rockets.
I mean, later on. But if I introduce it too late, they're not going to do anything. But even ignoring their powers, another problem I have with that, and other what-ifs, to be honest, Pokemon in particular, it's a pretty big problem. You know, you get so many characters, and then you're like, well, I can't use all of them, you know? Like, there's just not enough for every character to do. I wrote, the way I wrote it, because it's pretty accurate to the series, if I recall, all the CPU are relatively the same strength level.
If you told 12-year-old
Actually, in my series, Neptune's...
would try to blow him up with rockets, well, actually, he'd probably get pretty excited.
I think I made Neptune actually the weakest CPU because she's lazy. But, backpack.
Hey, my first camera. I got this at a yard sale. Still use this film.
Damn. But like, I have all the CPU who are like the same power level, and then I have like 5 Saiyans. Like, there's just not enough to do for all of my characters.
None of them like me, but I can't let them kill each other. Hey, can we solve this peacefully if I brought you cupcakes?
So I've been trying to focus mostly on Pishi. And then I remember, I think it was Wuv, she was like, hey, you should introduce, the other, like, the... And it's coming up in comments, too, if I remember. you should do like the Ultra Dimension CPU, right? And it's like, okay. I could introduce the Ultra Dimension CPU. But then what are they gonna do? Right? Like, you know, they were like... That was bullshit. The idea was given to me that, I could do them with Universe 6. But the CPU in my series were made because of the Dragon Balls. I don't remember my exact lore because it's been too fucking long. 2022, I think. Probably. But I do remember they came from the Dragon Balls. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, they wouldn't be introduced until the Tournament of Power. And there's so many characters in the Tournament of Power, it's like... You know... I don't even know how I'm gonna write the Tournament of Power. Formed, born, basically the same thing. And then I gotta introduce the next forms. Making Pishi the child of Neptune and Goku was definitely a very creative, or not creative, it was definitely a decision I made.
Perfect.
I was on the fence on if to do that or not, but... You know, it's Dragon Ball Z X Neptunia. And I was like, well, if it's the Dragon Ball timeline, I should introduce more Neptunia stuff. And then I ran into the problem that, you know, she's blonde. So how does she go Super Saiyan? Did I make her go Super Saiyan? Neptunia is one of those series where you can try to make it worth Dragon Ball, but it's going to be a massive pain in the ass. Exactly. Hell, even the series itself has trouble doing things with their characters.
Magnifique.
And then you have Plutia. Right, Plutia and Irisheart. Where Plutia would never, under any circumstance, want to train. Hell, half the time she's not even awake. You know, so for a while I made her stuck as Irisheart. You know, make it to where it's she mastered the form to such an extent that she just doesn't deform. But that became a problem because Irisheart is Irisheart, and everyone is afraid of Irisheart. God fucking yip. There we go.
After I got my powers, I didn't need my glasses anymore. Told everyone I got laser eye surgery with money from the Fisk Science Prize.
But, yeah, it's definitely a fun series to write, but it's hard. You know, fucking Uzume. Or Uzumi? Not quite sure how to actually say her name. I've always said Uzume. Orange Heart. You know, how do I write her in? Right? I haven't been reading your comments, guys. I'm sorry. I've been yapping. It was creative. I mean, I read a fic where Neptune adopted Pishi. Show me one of your fics? Alright. Or one of your favorites. I don't actually read a lot. I think on Wattpad, the only two I've read was one about Gohan, like rewriting the Buu Saga, making Gohan the actual main character. And then, strangely enough, it's gonna sound a little sus. I read a OCX Flandre fanfic. I was kind of curious, like, how do you make that work? Because I'm pretty sure, I'm sure Flandre knows love.
With this vial of the lizard's blood, I was able to mix up a cure and turn him back into Dr. Connors. Too bad it didn't last.
But, Flandre's Flandre. In my fanfic, to make it easier to write her, and I've mentioned this before, I made her, just more childlike. And, she goes batshit once she starts getting into a fight or excited. Normal Flandre, Other series. Another thing, I guess another series we can talk about. Unless there's something specifically you guys want to talk about, because, I understand there's a delay, so I can stop yapping for a second to give you guys time to talk. I gotta take a drink anyways, so... I was looking back at other old series. And, I don't know how to feel about this. I didn't unlock it, but... $29.9. Got that specifically for the arm. I like that one. Hold on.
Folks, the mastermind of the City Hall bombing has finally been brought to justice, and shockingly, it's philanthropist Martin Lee. Now, I'll discuss in a moment what kind of twisted Jekyll and Hyde mentality it takes to lead such a double life. But first, a word of caution to everyone celebrating his arrest. Yes, it's good that he's in jail, but look at all the things we didn't know. How long was he a suspect without anyone telling us? How long did he have a deadly biological weapon that could kill us all? Shouldn't we have been told? Evacuated the city? It's not an accident that we weren't given the information we need to protect ourselves and our families. Someone made that decision. Was it the police? The mayor? I know one guilty party for sure, and his initials are Spider-Man.
So that's what I was talking about earlier. No, Jameson's not wrong. That was information that could have gotten someone killed. And the police told nobody. Welcome to America, Jameson. But I was taking a look back at my series. And actually, I'm gonna go take a look at those polls. See where we're at. Let's see. FNAF X Gundam. Looks like it's a reboot so far. But if Gohan kept training, continue. QnA X Dragon Ball, reboot. Okay. Kind of how I was feeling on all those. But I was looking back at my old what ifs, and I saw one of them, like the oldest one on the channel that's still up because I've deleted quite a few because they were cringe. Was the whatchamacallit? What if I rewrote Dragon Ball Super? That one in particular. Because, you know, just... I think I remember I particularly hated Dragon Ball Super at that time. So I was like, yo, I could genuinely write Dragon Ball Super better. Looks like we're about to have a fucking gang war down here or some shit. Something's going on. But, other thing I want to mention... Now, this isn't just talking about projects. This is a Q&A. You guys can ask about whatever the fuck you want.
Spider-Man.
Home team advantage.
Spider-Man, we have a crisis situation. The football team went to an away game, never made it back. They found the buses abandoned.
Team, fans, staff. Lee has an army out there. Any leads?
Someone recognized the quarterback, Brad Davis. Posted a picture.
Hold on. That looks like Washington Square Arch. I think this is next to ESU.
Alright. I'll read your comment in just one moment.
Washington Square Park is just south of ESU.
Get on top of this building real quick. Yeah, it's right there. Damn, that's a short distance.
Hold on. That looks like Washington Square Arch. This is Washington Square Park, right next to campus.
Wow, they really couldn't find those guys on the other fucking block. CPUs and voids.
This is across the street from ESU.
And shares run in fear instead of faith. No, that's giving me a reminder of something. And I can't remember what. Well, because I'm a Toho nerd, it reminds me of Toho, because you need to believe in certain yokai for them to exist. Maybe that's how Goku beats Flandre. He's just like, I don't believe in you, and she just fades into existence. And beat the civilians.
Like a pack of wolves. The longer this goes on, the more likely someone dies.
Bop, bop, bop.
I'll kill you first.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that sounds like an interesting, thick idea.
How many players on our roster again?
Tear off your skin. Show the truth underneath.
How does the issue get resolved, though, if the main characters are evil?
First time I've wished our team had fewer fans.
Goku goes, no, you're not in this episode. Then Flandre dies.
Do it again.
Impact weapon. Thank you, Mr. Ben Riley. Bop. Bop.
I wish they'd been this persistent against State.
Stop grabbing me. Oh shit. I need to focus, guys. Okay,
Is it finally over?
sorry about that. It's been a couple months since I played this game.
Oh, that was crazy. That was crazy.
You're not the first one this happened to. Good news is, doctors checked the others and they don't have any lasting effects.
Oh, thanks. I don't know how to repay you.
Beat the Wildcats on Saturday and we'll call it even.
I didn't know Peter was a sports fan.
You did it. All the missing students are accounted for.
Good to hear.
Maybe now things can get back to normal. I miss normal.
Right there with you, buddy.
Yeah, missed. I was wrong. But, fuck, what were we talking about? I went into gamer focus mode there. Trying to get on this damn arch. There we go. Fuck, I don't remember. We generally talked about the fic. She read. The problem with making all the main characters evil is that you run into one of two issues. Either the bad guys are gonna win, which isn't always a bad thing, but a lot of times it leaves an unsatisfactory ending. Oh, JJ's talking. Hold on.
That Martin Lee, along with exhibiting freakish abilities like those of you-know-who, has lately seemed to display almost a split personality. This is hogwash and a clear attempt to evade justice for his crimes. Only a fool would believe that he's Mr. Positive one moment, helping the poor with a smile, then suddenly he's Mr. Negative, blowing up. Wait a minute, Mr. Negative. That's gold, Jared. Gold, trademark it, stat. As I was saying, folks, Martin Lee's evil side, or as everyone is now calling him, Mr. Negative, has been revealed as the culprit for the City Hall bombing.
Well, thank you, JJ. Anyway, if the bad guys win in a story, it's not always a bad thing. But it can leave a very unsatisfying ending. Because a lot of times, what people are looking forward to is how the good guys are supposed to win. Right? Because that's typically what happens in fiction. The other thing that's going to happen, or can happen, is that you make the villains lose. And then it kind of sucks. Because you've been watching a story on, you know, the bad guys. The bad guys are who you're rooting for. They're who you're like. They're the main characters. You've been following them. And then to see everything they work for go to waste feels kind of hollow. Now, some stories have done this satisfyingly. What comes to mind is Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. Which, if you don't know, they're not bad guys, per se. However, they're fighting to become the kings of Mars. So that space rats, as they're called, don't have to live like space rats. Mars is basically a piece of shit. And they're all pretty much war orphans. Their whole military unit. And at the end of the series, pretty much everyone you know about dies. Like, damn near everyone. Everyone important. And you're kind of left with this hollow feeling of like, damn, I can't believe that just happened. But it's also really good because it feels right. It doesn't feel like it was forced or like it was written poorly. They knew what they were signing up for when they went into it. Okay, they made the Neptune from the actual Neptune go through a character arc. They made her go on a journey to defend this world from the voids, and Neptune became less lazy. So basically, it's Victory 2. What it sounds like to me. Sounds very Victory 2 to me. With the Uzume's dimension. Anyway, as for Azrom, if you're still here, we've just been talking, answering questions, doing polls, yada yada.
Rhino almost killed me until I broke this chip off his horn and figured out what his costume's made of. Still wasn't easy to beat him. My back still aches just thinking about it.
Alright, but if I remember correctly, Victory 2 has the Dark CPU. I haven't played Victory 2. Actually,
And that's why Jonah paid me the big bucks.
I got so burnt out from Neptunia after Victory 1. I just never finished or Rebirth 1, not Victory 1.
Right. Forgot how much I love photography.
I never beat Rebirth 2. And I haven't touched Victory 1. Which might surprise you considering how often I've had Plutia and Iris Heart as my profile picture recently. And the fact I have a Nepgear body pillow. Neptunia is definitely something I used to be way more into. But I also feel like Neptunia used to be a lot more popular. Like, is that just me?
That's a keeper.
I didn't mean to do that. Like, I feel like Neptunia just isn't as talked about or promoted as much as it used to be. Like, I know they just had a crossover with Sanran Kagura. Sanran? I hope I said that right. But, you think I was your introduction to Neptunia? Oh, you mean through my, What If? You never played the games. Well, Gary, if you want a rough idea of the first 3 games, quote-unquote, because Neptunia's timeline's confusing, Neptunia does have an anime, which I quite enjoy. Especially the beach episode.
This tower.
And not even because of
How
fan
is that? I might start
service.
thinking about a new name.
The beach episode is just fucking hilarious.
Beautiful.
All units, report of a narcotics sale in progress. Mobilize on Monk Park.
I haven't played it, but I've seen Let's Plays. That's how I got into Neptunia.
MJ wrote this article in the school paper about student protests. She was a heck of a journalist even then.
My introduction to Neptunia was Lost Pause. Which I don't really watch anymore, but last time I did watch Lost Pause,
Little kingpins in training. So
he was
cute.
basically doing nothing but watching memes. Which is, you know, I'm fine with, but no. I gained the watch because he was really entertaining to watch. I really liked his gaming videos. Like, you know, I liked him because of his goofy personality. But I feel like it's less about Lost Pause at that point, and more so the memes he's reacting to. If that makes sense. The same happened with Kagi, actually. Kind of. Bitch!
Huh. Fisk did keep these wannabe pushers in check. Wait a minute, what's that feeling? Do I miss him? No.
Spidey, booyah!
My man.
I don't like violence, but dang, that was cool.
Aggie, he, he used to do a shit ton of gaming videos, and then he moved to reaction content, which I'm more okay with reaction content because Kagi actually kept it fucking interesting, unlike most reaction channels. And, but, I was slowly moving away because of that. Actually, I think my favorite series of Kagi was when he did Dragon Block with Rhyme and Thundershot, but that aside, quit his channel to become Sayu. And my problem is that I don't actually like watching streams. I like streaming. I don't like watching streams because I feel like when you're watching a stream, it's definitely a lot more interactive, but you also run into the problem of if you need to like go to bathroom or something, you miss like so much shit. Whereas if you're watching a video, you can just pause it and come back, right? Not to mention if there's an issue with the game or the stream, you can't really fix it like a video. And you gotta hope they notice. And then I guess that really is all there is to it. Videos are just more convenient than streams. But for streamers, doing streams is more convenient than making videos. Like David, for example. David's my right-hand man. But, we've been playing an RP. By me, I mean him, mostly. Like, this is his project. Right? He's making up the story. He's being the main builder, etc., etc. When it comes to my RP projects, I do everything except for all the building. David helps me with the buildings, and he sometimes pitches in some ideas. So, David has plenty of time. He's just fucking lazy. He'll full on admit to this. He's fucking lazy.
Should stop by the lab and check on Doc.
Didn't mean to do that. Oh! Speaking of RP videos, because it doesn't appear anyone has any more questions, so I'm just going to keep on yapping and try to keep your guys' attention, as well as, whatever, just stop the screen from being silent. We're working on another Minecraft RP, and I do want to mention, the reason we do Minecraft RPs in particular is because, what else are we supposed to use, right? Like, I know a lot of people don't like Minecraft, but when it comes to a game to make machinimas and roleplays, there is literally not a better game. Like, for example, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 looks better than Minecraft. Unless you really like that blocky feel, in which case. But generally speaking, that's what people would say. However, Minecraft, you get the Dragon Block C mod, and whatever you need is there. Right? And, let's say that for the story, we need 2 Super Saiyan 3s. Well, the other guy has to go grind for SSJ3, for 40 fucking hours, right? Dragon Block, just give him some XP. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, there is Gmod. There is Gmod, but I feel like Gmod's more limiting. And I feel like Gmod's engine was built more specifically for gunplay. But you're right. But the other thing is I know Minecraft a lot more. I also feel like there's more you can do with Minecraft. Mostly because of the building. Like, you can build some crazy shit in Gmod. Like, I've seen it. But I feel like it wasn't particularly made for building. Whereas Minecraft was. Kind of in the name. Anywho, we're actually working on a superhero RP. Because we don't want to work on Digimon. And the Pokemon one we have planned out, which, by the way, built our own region.
Friends, today we have a caller who's been a victim of what people call the corruption that infects otherwise law-abiding citizens,
Wait for JJ to
causing them
finish.
to go on violent rampages. Police assure me these corrupted are not responsible for their actions, so I am not divulging my guest's name. Tell us, caller, what was it like?
Surreal. Like I was in a nightmare world, surrounded by monsters. And every dark impulse I ever had, anger, fear, hate, was ramped up and turned loose.
Terrifying. And I understand that while you were in the grip of this madness, Spider-Man beat you up.
Well, he stopped me hurting people.
By beating you up.
I mean, he used as little force as possible.
That sounds like a yes. There you have it, people. Spider-Man beats up the mentally ill.
I mean, he's not wrong. I did beat up a mentally disabled person at the time. But, yeah, we started working on a superhero RP. And it might be a one-shot. It might be a series. We haven't decided. And it's basically taking the powers of other characters. I, for example, have the Ultimatrix, or some other version of the Omnitrix. Very OP. But I'm not going to be pulling no Alien X, so don't worry. And then he has Iron Man. I haven't decided if we haven't decided if we're gonna add more people. But I suppose I wouldn't mind. What sucks is that the roleplays are probably my favorite content to create. Because I've talked about it before. I've gotten kind of burnt out. Like, not completely. But, for example, I have a couple animations on the channel. I like making animations. But I just don't have the time when I'm also making a book and writing what-ifs. Like, they're just not, and I have a full-time job. Beyond full-time job, actually. That's nice. So, my shift is 5 to 1:30. But I wake up at 4 in the morning because my ride has to be there at 4:30. So, I get up like half an hour, or I would normally have to for work. And then my job can just tell me to work overtime whenever they want. Like, overtime is mandatory at my job. It's good money. I just spent $200 on figures the other day, and I only have to pay about $500 on rent because I live with my mother. Ironically enough, when I was about to get my own apartment, I was worried I was going to get fired, so I never ended up getting it. Out of fear that I would lose my job. But it just sucks. Just like, my skills and creativity. That's where my you know, that's always just been my greatest skill, but it's also like my greatest weakness because like I've even explained this to my job. With all my mental conditions, actually focusing on something is very hard. Like, you know, if I have to stop and focus, I can do it for a bit, but not for 8 hours. Normally, when I'm playing a video game, I'm watching YouTube, or, you know, right now, I'm chatting to you guys at the same time. Like, I can focus for a bit, but 8 hours is, is too long. I can't focus for that long. I love this modded suit, by the way. So, and you know, technically, I said my goal is to become a full-time author. But my goal from middle school, all throughout high school, until 2022, because that's when I uploaded my first book, my goal was just to become an author. Like, not even to be successful. It was just become an author. That was it. So, now I'm an author. My next book's almost finished. I'm writing a bonus chapter. And then I'm, waiting on a piece of art to be finished. Technically, the book I'm waiting to be finished, and that's what the bonus chapter's going into, is the, compilation. Technically speaking. But, yeah, I just, like... And even then, all the jobs I could get for my creativity, it just takes so long, and I just, like, I've wasted my life. Really. Like, you know, for example, you know, what jobs can you get by being creative? Well, I could be a video game developer, but that takes so much time and effort. Like, just learning how to do that alone, especially by yourself, takes so long. It can be quite expensive. And then just like writing, there's always the chance that you just get nothing out of it, right? You fail. I mean, for an example, it's kind of a bad example. Look at Scott. Right? Like, FNAF was his last hurrah. If he failed with FNAF, he was going to give up. Like, that's just how many times he failed. Now, luckily for Scott, Mr. Coffin, he ended up being successful, but, you know, he's a 1 in a million. The developer of Undertale, I don't know too much about, but, you know, Undertale, massive success. Artist, author, video game developer, and the like. Yeah. And Nebji, all 4 things you just wrote down, or all 3 things, I've dabbled into. You've seen me do art, which I've practiced enough to be decent, but I wouldn't say I'm good enough to be a professional. And I think because of the fact I can't hold still, I couldn't anyways. I've dabbled in video game creating. Like, I can read code relatively well. I've worked in RPG Maker, and I think it was Godot as well. Which, I know RPG Maker isn't the most well-received game engine, but no, a lot of good games have been made in RPG Maker. Shut up, JJ.
There's one thing I can't
never mind.
abide. It's egomaniacs who use the internet that solely to draw attention to themselves. And we just had a real meeting of the minds in that respect, as the online personality Screwball pranked fellow narcissist Spider-Man into an epic snipe hunt that put innocent people in danger. On the one hand, Screwball did show us all just how gullible and reckless Spider-Man is, rushing headlong into dangerous situations without knowing or caring who he'll hurt as long as cameras are on him. On the other hand, Screwball herself is no better. Unlike me, she's not trying to expose wrongdoers like Spider-Man as a public service. She's just in it to promote herself, which I think is absolutely despicable. Now don't go away. Just the Facts with J. Jonah Jameson will be right back after this important message about how you can buy my book.
Yeah. Ah, I did a flip. Cool. But, yeah, like, I have the creativity for shit. But, like, even if I didn't want to do things by myself, that's the other problem. You know, who am I supposed to go to? Right? My best friend is David. He's a fucking dumbass. I have our best friend from middle school, Holden. He's been on a couple of my videos in the gaming channel. He knows how to use a guitar. But you know, that's just not really his other thing. I live in another country, so that doesn't work. Hey, long range shit isn't a problem. I don't think so, at least. That's the other thing. I have no actual, like, idea how that would even work. Right? So, the only thing I know, like, I could think of how to do in a group project would be a book. And that would come down to someone else beta reading or doing the cover for my book. Which would save me a lot of money. I am about negative $300 when it comes to book work. But for example, I guess artist is kind of a solo thing. Let's say video game developer, okay? Let's say I wanted to make a video game, and let's say everyone on the server contributed, okay? Gary, Nepchi, who else is active on our server? Blonde dumbass. Austrian. That's pretty much all the active people on our server. So the 5 active people on our server. Right? Let's say all of us, we were like, hey, let's make a video game. Okay? And let's just ignore the fact that most of us probably can't even contribute to something like that. Okay, let's just say that somehow all of us can contribute. How would we share our work? Because it's like, oh, well, Gary here, he's the level designer. And I'm the modeler maker. Nepchi's the programmer. So we all make the assets. Right? And then we're sitting here like, well, how do we get all this shit into one game? This is also hoping that we all know the same coding language, right? And have no weird quirks. An example, right? We'd have to be communicating with each other. Communication is not a problem, right? We can all just get on a call. Like to give you a more specific example, I guess we can, based off my book. I've wanted to do a fighting game based on my book. And there's plenty of content to put into that fighting game. And, hoping I don't get told I'm doing a Toho ripoff. because of the amount of Toho influence I have subconsciously made. Spider-Man, stop backflipping. Stop. Spider-Man, you're a menace. But, no, I have no idea how to do that. So before I even start with the project, which, you know, video games can take God knows how long to actually develop, I had to learn that could take how many years? 2, 3 years just to learn how to program, right? And then, you know, am I doing it online? Am I self-teaching myself, or am I going to college? That dramatically changes the cost and possible time. And then after I learned how to program, you know, there's models to worry about, like, you know, art and shit. This is assuming I'm working by myself. And then after I learn all of that, how long is it going to take me to do all of that? You know, Choo Choo Avatar DBZX jump scare, indeed. Avatar Yuki jump scare. VTuber Yuki jump scare. But Choo Choo Charles, if I remember correctly, took 2 years, I think. And most people would tell you that while that game is surprisingly good, it is a very basic video game. You know? Honestly, it's part of the reason I'm warning, I'm about to get depressed here. Depressing here. Talk about sad topics. Part of the reason I suffer so much with my mental health is because I struggle with seeing the path forward, right? Like, I'm a very realistic person. I look at things negatively because that's how the world is. Like, I'm sorry, but that not only is the world not sunshine and rainbows, it's normally black and rainy. Like, that's just how it is. Because the world does not give a fuck about you. Unless you're like Elon Musk or the president or something like that. In which case, people are going to shoot at you at rallies. So, yeah. He's like, you know, I don't want to live a life where I'm working a 9 to 5 in a warehouse for the rest of my life. You know, I want to be happy. I want to do things that I want to do. But, you know, my only skill, my eyes at least, is writing. And that's debatable. I think I'm a shit writer. Right? Like, you know, that thing. I've been told I'm a good writer. But if I went up to an editor and or someone who reads constantly, and I showed them my book, they'd probably look at me and call me like the worst writer ever. Like, all 3 of my books that are going into my compilation book, with bonus content, by the way, including extra character notes, a bonus chapter, and art. And art. We're going to have pictures. We're going to have pictures in the collection book. So it's also going to be a discount. So we're going to be getting basically 1 book for like 3 books for the price of 1. Which is going to be pretty good. Self promotion BZX here. I will be self promoting on my channel the book when it's done, but altogether, like, between the 3 books, my biggest one is like 13,000, about 14,000 words. Like, I'm just not a good writer. At least not in my eyes. Though, I'm also aware that in any creator, your greatest critic is always going to be yourself. Unless you're an egotistical prick. And in which case, good luck, buddy. Good luck. But yeah, we've been at this for about an hour and a half. For anyone here who wants to keep talking, or ask me any questions, or just, chill out with a bunch of pretty cool guys, we have a Discord server that has been linked in the chat, pinned. We do have some rules, but it's nothing too strict. And and also the server heavily, like, the higher level you are with the Me 6 bot, which I know is controversial, but it's been there since the beginning. The more you're rewarded. Like, if you are in the server and you are silent, like, there's a lot of messages and questions involving my what ifs that only go in certain chats. So if you are listening to this in the future, or the third person here that isn't Nepg or Gary is not part of the Discord server and is curious on how I make some decisions, I straight up just ask these guys sometimes. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm gonna end the stream here. I guess we can talk in the server. I gotta relax before bed. Maybe eat dinner. Not sure. But yeah. I'll see you guys.